Hey folks, welcome to another AR video. Before we get started, I do want to mention the XREAL Air Glasses and XREAL Beam that are featured in this video were provided by XREAL as part of the XREAL Insiders program. If you have any questions about the hardware or some of the software that I demonstrate in this video, please feel free to leave a comment, and if I can't answer your question, I'll be able to reach out to the XREAL team to get an answer for you. Let's jump in. Today we're going to check out things that you can do with the XREAL Air when you're connected to a Windows PC. So as you can see in the display settings here, I have my XREAL Air connected right now to my XREAL Beam, but I have the XREAL Beam just connected to the Air, nothing else. So it's basically wireless as far as the connection to the computer. So we're going to connect to it as a wireless display. It's very simple here. We can just hit connect. Click on XREAL Beam 37F, which is the XREAL Beam that I currently have. And now we're connected. You can either do duplicate, extended, or second screen only for your casting. And it's pretty good as far as the visuals and the latency. I will say though, when I'm playing back things like YouTube videos or Twitch videos, sometimes there's a noticeable lag between the sound and the visuals. But strangely enough, when I use it for things like VLC or just other viewers on my PC to watch movies or other things, it works just fine. So I'm not really sure what's causing that. Other web browser things work great. And this is a great tool to stick in my pocket, and while I'm on conference calls at work, the microphones and the speakers on the XREAL Air work great. I can still see the screen. I can interact on the conference calls while kind of walking around the house. So now I've actually connected my XREAL Air directly to the PC via USB-C. I have the luxury of having a PC that this is something that's available for, and what this does is with the wired connection, it allows you to either duplicate displays, extend displays, show only one or show only two. And then the other thing that's really cool about it is if we go into the advanced display here, you can see display one. This is my standard monitor. I've got Intel UHD graphics on this particular monitor right now with 2560 by 1600 and a 240 hertz refresh rate. But if I go to display number two's properties, which is the Air itself, it's right now connected to the NVIDIA graphics card, the discrete graphics card in my laptop. And again, it's showing 2560 by 1600, but the active signal mode, which is what this actual display in the glasses is 1920 by 1080 at 60 hertz. And if we look at the refresh rate, 60 hertz is the only refresh rate that's available. In a recent firmware update, though, they added a magical new feature where if you hold the brightness up button right here on the bottom of the right arm of the glasses, you'll hear a kind of click and then a second click. After that second click, if we release, now if we go to display 2, you'll see it's at 120 hertz. It's double the refresh rate when you hold down the brightness up button and listen for two kind of clicky tones on the speaker, and then once that second tone hits, release. Now, I do want to mention when you're connected wired to the PC directly, there's no smooth follow, there's no body anchor, none of the added features that you have with the XREAL Beam. It's just a giant screen that moves when I move my head. So there can be some jerkiness if I'm moving quickly, things of that nature, but otherwise it's a nice wide screen, and I do prefer the 120 hertz refresh rate and the wired connection, particularly when I'm doing things like YouTube consumption or video editing. The other thing I want to mention is when you're connected to Windows right now, the Air does only display a single display, whether that's using it wired directly to the PC or using the XREAL Beam. You can't get multiple displays. You can't pin the displays in multiple places or things of that nature. It's just a single display. However, something new that's kind of experimental right now is Nebula for Windows. This is currently available only in closed beta, but the ability to have one 16:9 floating screen in front of you as a virtual screen in addition to your PC screen, the ability to have two 16:9 floating screens, the ability to have three 16:9 virtual screens, one giant 21:9 virtual screen, or one 32:9 virtual screen. And these will be at a distance of about 3.5 meters from you when it's simulated. And all you do is click on Start AR Desktop and it'll come up. Now, when I use this on my particular computer with the setup that I have, it's not super smooth right now. It is still in beta though. They've had 2 beta clients, and again, this is a closed beta, so it's not something that's currently accessible that you can just download and use. But it's really cool to see the progress and to be able to use these virtual screens in addition to your regular screen can definitely help with building out a virtual workspace, for example, using their AR desktop. Again, this is Nebula for Windows and it's coming soon. You can, however, request to join the beta by joining the XREAL Discord, which I'll have a link to in the description of this video. And one other cool feature is the ability to engage 3D mode with the glasses. It's not anaglyph 3D like those glasses that are pictured above me. It's actually stereo 3D using either half or full side-by-side videos. And if you hold down the brightness up button again on the right arm of the glasses, until you hear the tone once instead of twice and release, that engages 3D mode. And now I've got kind of a stereo picture, but it's not a stereo picture because I'm not looking at a stereo picture on my monitor, if that makes sense. But it works really well for viewing movies. You need to make sure that you have either movies or games at a resolution that's viewable, that takes up the most real estate. It kind of centers the screen, so there's a little bit of resolution that's cut off on the sides if you don't get it exactly dialed in to the resolution of the glasses. Again, the resolution of the glasses, you've got 1920 by 1080 on each eye. So you want to have 1920 times 2, which I believe is 3840 by 1080 as your stereo resolution, or again 1920 by 1080 per eye, so per image. You can find content that's playable on YouTube in stereo 3D. You can download movies that are at the correct resolution, and you can manipulate games to play in 3D in that manner as well. And it works pretty well. So again, it was a feature that wasn't present when the XREAL Air came out that's been added in a later firmware, but I'm excited that it's available and I can consume 3D content as well as 2D content from my PC. So that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this look at things you can do with the XREAL Air on Windows. I am going to do a part 2 of this because there's a lot of third-party applications that have been in development as well that really intrigue me, that kind of excite me, that enable the XREAL Air to do even more on Windows. So there will be another video coming up sometime in the next month or so that highlights some of those third-party applications. Until next time, get out there and enjoy some AR for yourself, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.